Good evening, everyone. Greetings. My name is Kathy Adams, and I'm the Southern Regional Director of the National Federation of Democratic Women. And I'm a member of my home chapter, the South Metro Democratic Women's Council. And today we have the pleasure of interviewing our mayor, William Bill Edwards. We just want to have a casual conversation to hear a little bit about his visions, his values and views, and what he has in store for South Fulton, for the city of South Fulton. And give you a little bit of history about the South Metro Democratic Women's Council. We've been around for about 6-7 years now and have been hosting a lot of events in the South County. That's everything south of I-20, all the way down to the Coweta County line, all the way over to Clayton County and the Fayette County lines in the city of Atlanta, those city limits, everything in between. So we're trying to educate the voters on some political views, but also to keep everyone engaged in civic and human rights and socialism. So with that, I'd like to say we are hosting a series of these interviews with a number of the candidates that are running for office in South Metro County. So be on the lookout for some of those. But again, today I had the pleasure of sitting with the incumbent, the mayor, William Bill Edwards, and just want to chat with him for a minute and again, find out what's on his agenda and what we have to look forward to. So, Mayor Edwards.
Yes, how are you?
I'm doing exceptionally well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Let me first, I think I did it before, but let me do it again. I want to thank you for your achieving what you achieved in the Democratic Party. I think you're worthy. We're glad to see you there, and especially what the ladies of the Democratic Party is doing when you put on things like this and your continued services to not only your local cities, but to your regions.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Let me just tell you, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. It's taken us a while to get have this opportunity to sit down one-on-one. So I want to give you some time to share with us just a little bit about yourself and where you are right now.
Well, Kathy, I've been here for a long time. I just look a little younger than I am. But I came here in about 68 to go to Morehouse College there and got married and had 3 beautiful children. And then I went to law school and I became very active in my community because I was in the old National area and I had a business called Allstate, and that I had there for over 30 years. And during that time, I became very, very much a part of the community. I was president of the Old National Merchants Association for 13 years. I was also on the board of the ARC, the Chamber of Commerce. All these things happened, before I became an elected official. So they really helped me to make my transition from civilian to political arena.
Awesome. I recall when you were on the Old National Merchants Association. I think we collaborated on a few initiatives way back when, so we won't call any.
Well, we dating ourselves, but you're right.
Absolutely.
We did a good job over there, and none of us were elected.
Absolutely.
We were under the leadership of then Commissioner Michael Hightower, and we worked very hard with his office, and you were a part of his office too. And we worked very hard with his office to make things better along the corridor. And I think we did that to a large degree. It always, sometimes people tell me about the corridor and they say, well, it's bad, it's this, they call it old nat, old nasty, all these kind of names. But had not we did, Kathy, you were a part of it. Had not we did what we did during those times, the old national corridor would have been totally destroyed. But we had the intestinal fortitude to stand up, even during white flight, even during prostitution, even doing all those things. We held the corridor together. And now we have it here in this wonderful city of South Fulton, and we got big plans to make it what it should be.
Well, I want to hear a little bit about that later on, because I want to ask you about, the bridge and how we bridge the two together. And I'm going to tell you what those two are. We talk about Southwest and then, you know, the Old National Corridor. But
Sure.
tell me a little bit about your platform. What's
Well,
the campaign platform look like?
listen, I think every elected official ought to have the experience of building a city from ground up.
Mm-hmm.
It is an experience that unlike anything you ever want to know. But looking at us shows that it can be done, and it can be done in the right way. When I first ran for office, I said two things, Kathy. One was public safety, and the other was education. Because I believe that where you have good public safety and where you have education, economic development thrives, and people come to your community. And it's a very simple equation. No one wants to live where they don't be safe, and no one wants to live where their children can't be educated. So I'm proud. That was the building blocks of my foundation for the last 3 years. And I can tell you right now, in terms of our police, we have done an outstanding job. We have fortified and we have equipped our police, because I cannot send somebody out to protect it and serve, and they're not protected themselves. Same thing with the fire department. So outcomes. What is the outcome? Double digit reduction in crime over the last 3 years. Nobody, not any of our Atlanta or any of our surrounding cities, can stick their chest out and proudly say that. But we have done it. In our fire department, you know, one of the great things, people always say the fire department don't do anything by saying at the fire station. No, but when they work, they actually work hard. But they do other things. They launch other programs. You know, sometimes you will see them on the corner asking you for $1 to put in a boot to help somebody. But we are now in our fire department, we're only 3 vehicles away from changing our whole fleet. That's a magnificent accomplishment, but we've done it. We're working right now to lower our ISO ratings. And ISO ratings is that in which they determine what your insurance is going to be on your house. They look at response time. They look at equipment. They look at a lot of things. We're working very hard to lower our ISO rating. That means a savings to you as a homeowner. We're building 3 more fire stations, which is good. And back on the police side, you know, we've ordered brand new police cars last year. We got 40 new police cars coming in this year. We've got an aggressive program to bring in new and experienced officers to our force. We have one of the highest salary rates in the region for police officers. And you know, police officers, everybody's looking for them, and they'll steal 1 or 2 from you if they can. So you have to make sure that you give them some incentive to stay with you. Now, let me turn just a minute to the education side.
Well, hold on before you go too far. So, you know, tell me a little bit about what makes you qualified for this role.
Oh, well, let's try about 20 years of political experience.
That's kind of like lobbing it over the fence, but
yeah, that's why I didn't say that. It's like 20 years of experience. Listen, in my role of 14 years or so as commissioner, you had to realize that I was the only county commissioner who lived in South Fulton. And it was very important, and how important that is. Listen, when you have commissioners in other areas and you want something for your part of the county and you're the only one that lives there, all right, you have to get in and talk to people, make them reasonable, see where you're going, and get them to vote with you. And we did that. I can tell you right now, over the 14 years that I was commissioner, I brought into unincorporated South Fulton over $3 billion in economic development. And that's B. That's B. Not election. Not M. So we did a wonderful job in that time. I was gone for 3 years, and now I've become mayor. There's nothing in the area of politics, Kathy, that I have not seen, or there's nothing that I have not dealt with. the education that I've gotten over the years in being a public service has helped me to establish the groundwork for a new city.
Well, that's, you know, and I will tell you, we needed that leadership and that expertise. So on a broader scale, and let me expand this a little bit, because
Sure.
the people asked for their own city. We got out here, and there were a lot of community efforts. A lot of people were pro cityhood and some were against cityhood, but we made it happen. So here we are, 100,000 plus strong that live in the city. You were, effective with the economic development. You got the fire stations, the police, the crime is, manageable. And so we got the rooftops, we got affordable housing. How do we bridge, two-part question, how do we bridge the gap between the old and the new? That is everything south of Interstate 85 and everything north of Interstate 85. That is Southwest Atlanta versus Old National Corridor, because there's the great divide and there's an income divide. That's one part of the question. And then how do we accommodate the residents of South Fulton County by giving them another strand of economic development, which is restaurants? Where do we shop? We got to eat. We got to, we want fine dining. We want middle of the road dining. We want those types of things, but we want affordable living, a good quality of life. So we're way out here in South County, but
sure.
Okay, I'm gonna give you an opportunity.
Well, we're way out here in God's country. We're in a great position
to
do
beautiful.
Those types of things you talked about. And so the thing about it is, when you talk about every community, even communities within communities have their own identity. I think the Old National has a different identity than maybe Cascade Road, all right, or maybe the South Fulton Parkway or places like that. So we have to really sit back and talk with our constituents, find out what it is that you really want, and don't make promises that you can't keep. Why do I say that? We make strategic plans, Kathy, to take us from A to B. We don't go in there saying that, hey, you're gonna have 5 new restaurants tomorrow on Old National Highway, and don't worry about it, because the next person will be, well, where they at and how you gonna get them? All right. So we have strategic plans in place now. We have also have what we call tax allocation districts, which gives us incentives to make people come in, do business with us. These are tax incentives. Now, we're set to have that on the ballot, the upcoming ballot. There will be a TAD. Hope everybody.
So November 2021.
Yeah, hope everybody votes for it. That gives us. We also have the new Downtown Development Authority, which one is on Old National and one is on Roosevelt Highway. And with the Downtown Development Authority, we also have what we call a downtown manager. And what do those downtown managers do? We're out there looking at the types of businesses that we want to see on Old National Highway, go after those businesses, show them that this is the right place to go. So if you come into Old National, what's the first thing you think I got to overcome? Perception. Perception is the biggest problem to overcome. And one of the perception is, I don't feel safe on Old National Highway. I can tell you that based on my last report from Fulton County, from the police department rather, from our city police department, Old National is down in crime by double digits.
Wow.
That's a long way to come. That's the role we got to pace ourselves on now. We got to show people the perception of Old National is a perception is no longer earned. Okay,
so bridging the gap between the old and the new. How do we get there? And when I say how do we get there, it's, again, perception is the biggest thing, but then there's a tax base too.
Yeah, but long as you have a bad perception, you don't have a tax base. All right. So what we have to do is, and I hate to use it simply, but we got to plan, and plan again. All right. Because we got new facilities coming on Old National. We got a brand new medical facility that's coming to Old National now. We also got a multi-million-dollar project that's also hopefully coming to Old National Highway. We're reinvested in our parks. We want you to be able to, if you live on that side of town, you should be able to come to this side of town and partake on what those people want, and as well as they come to your side of town and partake, but both sides are not going to be the same. Right. So we got to merge them together and say, hey, we're both destination areas. You may have something in your area that I don't like. I'll come to your area, whatever the case may be. But we both got to be destination areas, and we have to make sure that people feel that they're safe going through.
Okay, and then so that's going to give us that. What is that going to do for the economic development or for the rooftops?
Okay. Okay, here's the deal.
To bridge that gap for us?
Sure, here's the deal.
Okay.
You got to take, for example, the new Publix on Camp Creek.
Love it.
That was what we call the food desert. All right. Okay. And the disposable income in that area is tremendous. But it was a food desert. And the people in that area kept saying, we need to have a grocery store. Sure, it's one down there on Camp Creek, down in the Atlanta area, but we need our own. We have a food desert. Right. We went in and put in one of the most phenomenal Publix that you have in this region. And people are very, very proud. They're coming in, they're spending their money. They feel safe, they're energized. So here's the deal. I heard you use the word rooftop several times. Rooftops are good. Rooftops are good, Kathy. They create a tax base like no others, all right? But let me tell you, until we beef up our not workshops, but until we beef up our strategy to bring in more commercial in this area, we're gonna have to do that, because we are running this city off the backs of homeowners. And that is not a good way. That is not a good way to run a city.
Well, that's why I mentioned the taxes.
Yes.
That's why I mentioned taxes, because I want to also ask you about the millage rate. What's your, I'm hearing about these hearings and, about the millage rate. There may be an increase. Tell us a little bit about that. And then, how are we going to manage the tax base here in the city of South Fulton and still have hope that we're going to get retail and commercial development?
Well, if you don't, here's the deal. We're going to work hard to get retail and commercial development. That's why we're setting up these DDAs. That's why we're setting up the TAD programs and things that to lure people into coming to our city. Okay, we're not going to be an affordable place to live if we don't have that commercial entity. My thing, as I go forward for the next 4 years, is to go full pace and bring in the commercial to our city, because now we have a toolbox with some things in it that can help us to do that. That's why I talk about those DDAs and TADs and things of that nature. So as we go forward, there's a lot of other things that help us in economic development. Transportation is another one. All right. We have to work on our crumbling infrastructure. I was with Senator Ossoff yesterday in a roundtable discussion on infrastructure. And there were leaders from all over the region. And we're talking about, how do people get to work? Are our streets safe? We got $90 million worth of roads going on right now. But that's $94 million is just a drop in the bucket. I have $18 to $20 million in bridges that need to be done. And so I'm reaching out to Washington, to wherever I need to reach out to assist us into this crumbling infrastructure system. So everything is on the table.
So I know that, we feed into this supply chain because we're near the airport. And our South Fulton Parkway is like major thoroughfare right to the airport and to rail yards and things like that. But they also lead to big box warehouses. What's your vision for big box warehouses and our neighbors
Yeah.
in local municipalities?
Yeah.
Because, you know, do we have hope here in South Fulton County? Are we going to get boxed in? Or,
Right.
you know, you talked about the, you know, a little bit on this master plan, and what's the vision for South County so that we maintain some type of integrity around the municipality and not get boxed in?
Okay, before I do that, I forgot to talk about the millage rate.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't want people to think I'm just
Yes.
jumping over that. We did talk
Okay.
about that. You know, you have to advertise a millage rate, and you have to advertise by law 3 years. Okay. So someone put out there that we're raising the taxes by 6 whatever percent on the millage. That was the increase in millage 2 years ago. You have to advertise that. Okay. The next year, we did raise taxes from that. That's why we got to this 12 point millage rate we got now. All right. So, but the new millage rate that we're advertising for is the same as last year. You follow me? So, but we do have to show 3 years. But I can tell you right now, our millage rate is the same as it was last year.
Okay.
That's a fact. Now, we're talking about, what were we talking about before I got?
We're talking about our neighbors are gonna box us in.
Let's talk about Union City.
And then, yeah, well, I didn't call it out. I just said our neighbors.
And I called it out. Let me just say this. I was appalled. You know, we as a city cannot tell another city what to do within the boundaries of their jurisdiction. But I thought that there would be some element of cooperation between cities who are that close together. When it first started, I held the fort saying that, well, you know, you do what you want to do, nothing I can do about it. But as it started to increase, then people started saying, well, Bill, why are you allowing all these warehouses to come down? They weren't my warehouses. Not one warehouse that allowed to come down here. And I put out a video. You may have seen it. And the video simply says, this is not us. We don't like it either. All right. Well, the mayor got a little perturbed about that video. And we sat down several times, and we have sat down several times to discuss this issue. But Kathy, we have not made a whole lot of progress, because my position is this: I'm the one who's been hurt. You have not been hurt. You are putting stuff next to my borders, and nothing offends your citizens, because your citizens are within your city. Everything's mine. You just don't do that. You don't put. I would never do that to a sister city. So people says, well, he posed the question to the governor. Well, why is he wanting to give Fulton Industrial Boulevard, but he don't want to do that? Well, guess what the name of that street is? Fulton Industrial Boulevard. It ain't over here next to 85. This is an industrial boulevard. This is the largest industrial area in the South region, and it was made for warehousing.
Well, you know, and that's it's yes, I've been down here in South County for over 40 years now, and I've seen it grow, and I've seen a lot of trees and things leave us, and they're still moving dirt to this day. You know, those are natural buffers, and they help clean the air. But when we got the city, we thought we were going to get, you know, some of these other things, some of this smart growth. I've seen warehouses box in some homes over there off Stonewall Hill. Not the new ones that they're building, but the big Walmarts and all those other warehouses back there.
It was two sides of the road, Kathy, during that time.
But it's like, what does it do for the quality of life, and what do the citizens have to look forward to going forward if we don't control or lock down our borders, because is annexation a part of this, or, just,
Annexation is a big part of it. Let me tell you two things. When I was commissioner, as we looked to develop for the Parkway, we said that there would be no commercial past Mason Road.
Mm.
All right, that was the plan, and then we'll bring in some more residential and other stuff as we go down. That was the plan. When it got annexed, that plan was done away with. The other portion of that plan is that, and I was the president. I was a commissioner, and I was the vice president of the Parkway Alliance. And one of the things that we agreed upon was that we would have a 300-foot buffer, regardless. They got rid of that. And now what they're saying is that, well, when we got it from Fulton County, Bill had already zoned it for warehouse purposes. That's a lie. And I'm gonna tell you why it's a lie. If I'm telling you that it was no warehouses past Mason Road, if you annex in, make some of that property in, if the zoning does not fit what you want, you have to wait for 1 year before you can build something. So if he's saying that it was already there, why didn't they start building immediately? They didn't. What they did was they came in and changed their zoning to accommodate these warehouses.
Right. So going forward, what do we have to look forward to as residents of the city of South Fulton under your leadership? Should we look for more of these warehouses? Because I understand that it's not just Union City now. That on the other side, we got our other neighbor over there in East Point.
And College Park.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we protect ourselves, as citizens of South Fulton, from being boxed in, but still have a good quality of life that's going to give us an opportunity to enjoy the rooftops? We've got, bringing the schools back up to par, and, they've got, good ratings now. So, people aren't sending their children to school out of district. We want fine dining. We want nice dining. We want nice commercial and retail, so that we don't have to take our tax dollars to other municipalities and shop and eat. And so how are you? Give us a little bit, and then we're going to have to close, because, we're running short on time. We can talk all day. But, I just want you, because I want you to share with some of the constituents, your vision to bring all of this together. You brought us this far. Great job in jump starting the city and, building the infrastructure and laying the foundation. This is what we have to look forward to going forward. So give us just a snippet.
Your last statement was a very true statement, Kathy. Laying the foundation and the groundwork. And when we go forward to looking for more commercial fine dining, we still have some groundwork to do in terms of sidewalks and pedestrian crossings and things that help us bring in a lucrative dining area. We're going to continue to do that. We have our economic development person, Mr. Christopher Pack. He is working very diligently. I got to tell you about a project that I started that's going to be in fruition. It's on Roosevelt Highway, and it's called we're going to rehab Red Oak. It's called the Red Oak Historical District, and it's a great district. I got Georgia Power working with me. I got Marta working with me. A host of people that we're going to make this happen. The other thing is, I want to bring more of the town center concept to our city. You've seen Avalon, you've seen a host of town centers around. I'm not saying that we have to make this the town center city of all, but I think that town centers do work. And I've been to several, me and Mr. Pack, to see what kind of things that we can do to make us better. So we're going to look for more town centers, because town centers, when you there, you're home. You don't put no cars on the road. Once you're home, you're home. You got your barber, you got your I won't say it, but you got your libation store, and you got your little grocery store, all that in one place. All right. And you said, so we're looking right now. That's one thing is the concept of town center. Roosevelt Highway, what I'm telling you about, will have the town center concept. And if I had the time, I should have had the brought out, which I could have shown you visually what it's going to be looking like. But we've got hope for that corridor and other corridors. Old National is another one.
Okay. Well, I mean, and that gives us hope. But, you know, and a lot of people are saying, not only do we just want commercial and retail, we want quality commercial and retail. Don't throw us another chicken restaurant or a beauty supply store and another nail shop. And I think we're inundated.
Listen, I hear you, but guess what? I live here too. And I'm right. I believe what you said. We have one of the problems we've had is an oversaturation of businesses of like kind.
Yes.
All right. And we have to at some point, I mean, there's a right for people to do business. Don't get me wrong. And the law protects them. But as we look at our zoning, and as we look at, and which is another thing, I'm going to charge each and every one of our citizens. When we have meetings concerning the comprehensive land use plan, things of that nature, that is your opportunity to help us to plan things that we need to plan. And if we do it correctly, we won't have to have all these zoning meetings. So want to encourage all of our people, go to those meetings.
Okay. And so let's close this out. How can people get in contact with you as the candidate? Now, I don't want them to call City Hall, but as the candidate, William Bill Edwards, how can they get in contact with you to volunteer, to donate, ask, you know, other questions? I think we brought this full circle. You know, we talked about where you are and your vision, and so just tell them how they can get in contact with you and help you.
Okay, I'm going to give you how to get in contact with me because I want to hear from them. I don't need to. This is going to have to be Bill Edwards' vision. This is going to have to be everybody's vision. And my campaign headquarters number is, let me get it for you because I don't want to make sure I tell you the wrong thing. We don't use it that much. We have. I'm gonna give you a link to my website and to my campaign phone number. And I want to hear from everybody. She's giving it to me now.
And that's good. Like I said, I don't want them calling City Hall. I don't want them sending emails, you know, to your work email address. You know, send it to the campaign. You know, we want.
Let me give you my campaign manager's phone number. Her name is Erica Pines.
Okay.
It's 404-822-6757. All right. And she could give you, for that point, she can give you all the ways you can reach us, how you can go to our website, or how you can donate, things of that nature. So she'll be very happy to man that, and just give her a call. Awesome.
Okay, so hey, I appreciate the time. I appreciate everything that you shared with us. We're going to share this information with the citizens of the City of South Fulton, and just thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to sit with me this evening.
Well, thank you so much. I just want to close by saying this has been a heck of an experience for us. But we closed out this 4 years with 2 of the promises that I made that I've accomplished. And on top of that, we are in the strongest financial position in this city than we have been since we've started. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you again. Thank you with that, and good luck with your campaign.
Thank you, Kathy. Good seeing you again.
All right, likewise.